The latest edition of the Baum Bugle has been mailed out, and this time it's all about the rulers of Oz. Hello fellow Ozians, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the latest issue of the Baum Bugle, one of the publications from the International Wizard of Oz Club. The Oz Club has been publishing this journal since the club's very beginning back in the late 1950s. Our latest issue is all about Ozma and possibly some other rulers of the land of Oz. As with all of my videos looking at the latest issue of the Baum Bugle, I won't be discussing everything that's inside this issue. I'll just be giving you some highlights, as there's always something new and wonderful for you to discover inside each edition. So, let's get started. The first Ozma that we will be discussing is Miss Vivian Reed, and her portrayal of Ozma in L. Frank Baum's silent Oz films, in particular, His Majesty the Scarecrow of Oz. In Nate Barlow's article, Restoring the Scarecrow, or How I Learned to Stop Dreaming and Restore a Film, Nate shows us the painstaking process that he went through to restore one of L. Frank Baum's silent Oz films. Besides all of the information about the restoration, one of the more shocking aspects about this particular film is that the Library of Congress owns at least a couple sections of the film that is the original film that they used to shoot the movie. Yes, it is the original camera negatives. Absolutely shocking that that still exists well over 100 years after it was filmed. Absolutely crazy that that still exists. The article discusses many different film techniques that were used during this particular time period and debunks a couple other things that people might think about silent films today. One of those being that silent films were all in black and white. This is not true, especially for, in particular, this film. It was originally shown with tinted colors. Well before the Technicolor process, there were various different techniques that were done to create color film, and one of these techniques was literally tinting the entire film one color. And this process was done for this particular silent film. There, of course, were other techniques that were used. Many of them were experimental, and it talks about a couple of them in this article. This particular article gets very technical, and that's just really because of what the subject is and how a lot of the techniques that are used we don't use today. And I think it does a pretty good job of discussing a lot of different elements from this time period. My other highlight is Project Ozma, the first search for extraterrestrial intelligence. This one might come as a little left field, but I found this one fascinating, that some scientific experiments have been named after Oz characters. And this particular project was about radio signals coming from outer space. And the project was called Project Ozma. This particular project was done well over 60 years ago. And while it wasn't a success, that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't life out there. While this has obviously never been proven, it was a fascinating read and an interesting look at astronomer Frank Drake's opinions about extraterrestrial possible intelligence, and how one day we might be able to communicate with them through radio signals. Another interesting part that this article points out is how L. Frank Baum used this element in the original Wizard of Oz books as a way to communicate with Dorothy to get further stories for the rest of the Oz series after the Emerald City of Oz. If you are not familiar, L. Frank Baum wanted to end the Oz series with the 6th book, The Emerald City of Oz, and go on to writing other children's fiction. This, of course, didn't happen because the Wizard of Oz series was just too popular, bringing L. Frank Baum back to the land of Oz with The Patchwork Girl of Oz. The last piece that I want to highlight inside this issue is that it discusses one exciting project that is happening on the ozclub.org's website, and that is that past articles of the Baum Bugle are now becoming available on the website to club members. So if you do not have the previous issues and a big long back catalog of the Baum Bugle, there are quite a number of articles that are now available, and more that have become available that were announced in this issue on the club's website. So, if you are interested in reading different articles from the past to the present, there are quite a number that are now available. And if, of course, you would like to receive the Baum Bugle, you most certainly can by joining the International Wizard of Oz Club. I provided a link down below to ozclub.org. We would love to have you as a new member. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.